part B.2 PHP works with MySQL. From this video, I will use 3 videos to give you the basic knowledge. How do we use PHP to do the database queries? So then in our question 5 of project 2, we need to do a very simple database query. But, it's a good exercise question. All right, so let's start this topic. First, database basics. So before we get to the real work, so let me give you some basic properties of database. First, a database is used to store and query data. Here you can see the keyword query. Okay? Remember, if you compare with XML and JSON, we just learned, right? JSON. Those two we use to store and transport, right? You can see there is no query thing. The query part is missing. Okay? So here we make that part. We use database to make that part. Query part. All right. We consider the traditional databases relational databases. Traditional. Relational. Okay. So there are some non-traditional databases. But here we don't want to talk about that. Because this type is dominant in the market. Okay, traditional relational database dominant in the market. 90% something market share. So for that reason, we just study this topic. Data is organized in tables. So what are tables? Data, here the specific database context, tables, rows and columns. The same as our understanding of the usual tables, rows and columns. Here you can see one example. Here, for this part, I give you one database example. So this is the one of the 2 tables in my database example. So I will talk about that in my next slide. I will talk about the whole database. All right. So here you can see for the columns, you see the table field. So each column corresponds to one field. Okay. Then rows. So you have multiple rows. Each row represents one specific user's data, right? User's data. So one user makes some business activity, so then you add one row of data for that particular user. Things like that. Okay? Then 2 tables may have some relation. Some of the table field could appear in other tables. So those tables may have some relation. That kind of relation is important in relational databases. So when we do the queries, we will use those relationships. Okay? So those relationships we can do a lot of very complicated and powerful queries. So for this class, we won't do that part. We only do the very basic queries. We won't do very complicated queries. Because those things, if you want to learn, you can take we have a database management system course, CS 4610. Yeah. In that course, you will learn a complete theory of database management system. We call it DBMS. Okay, in that course. Yeah. All right. Next, a query can be applied on multiple tables based on their relations. Yeah. So that's the power. Okay. Yeah. So you can make that very powerful. Yeah. But for this course, this part, we only do the basic queries. Yeah. Each query only involves one table. Yeah. One table. Yeah, very simple. Yeah. All right. Here, I show you some examples. Yeah. Query examples. In order to do database queries, we need to use a special query language. It is called a structured query language. Structured query language. So if you take the, first character, SQL, okay? SQL, usually people call it SQL, okay? Yeah. All right. Here, the first example, select customer name, comma, city from customers. Yeah. From this statement, yeah, so we call it select statement. From this statement, right, you can guess the meaning, yeah, but here, customers, it's the table name, customers, table name. Then the table field, the column, 2 columns we want to select, okay? All right, so then select and from the keywords, SQL keywords. SQL keywords, not case sensitive, but by convention, we want to use the capital letters, yeah, uppercase, to make it look different. Yeah. So the reason is to get a better readability. Yeah, for that purpose. Yeah. All right. So that's why usually we use the uppercase. Yeah. The second, select star. Star means all the fields. So we do not specify. So all the field names one by one. We just use that star. Yeah. If you only take some of the fields, you do not need to take all the fields. You just list them one after another by comma, separated by comma. All right. Select star from customers. Where you put a condition. You can specify condition. Okay. Yeah. The first one we do not specify condition. Yeah. But second one, if we put a condition there, we can narrow down. Only this condition is satisfied, those rows are retrieved. Okay. Country equal Mexico. Okay. Mexico, there's a string, so you use the single quotes. Single quotes. Yeah. Although you can also use double quotes, but single quotes is the standard in SQL. Single quotes the standard. Double quotes not standard. Yeah, single quotes the standard. Yeah. All right. Insert statement. And when you want to add a new row into the table, you use insert statement. Insert into table name, customers, then parentheses. You need to specify the field names, column names, a sequence of column names. And for each field, you specify a value. So the values, corresponding to those fields. Okay, yeah. So you can see pretty straightforward. Yeah. So that's the insert statement. Then update statement. You update the table. How do you update? Set. Right? Set. Content name equals that value, comma, another field equals another value. Okay. Then you can specify condition. Yeah. Customer ID equals 1. Okay. Yeah. So you can see pretty natural. So you can use your natural language understanding to understand all these statements. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. The last one, delete. Sometimes we want to delete some rows, right? Yeah. So you delete from that table, but you want to specify conditions. Otherwise, you delete the whole table, right? If you do not specify condition, you delete the whole table. So that is very dangerous. Yeah. So this delete statement, it is very dangerous. Because if you execute it by some mistake, okay? By some mistake, especially when you specify condition, by some mistake, you may delete a lot of useful data and you cannot recover. So that is very dangerous. Yeah. So that, so this, when you use it, you should be very, very careful. Yeah. Delete. Yeah. All right. So the next slide. The next one, I want to talk about the database example I give you for this part. Yeah. All right. Create a database. Yeah. To create a database, here we need to use database script. Here I give you my script. Products db.sql extension SQL, because this file, text file, contains all the SQL commands we need to use to create this database. Yeah. And then later I will show you how to run the script in our PHP MyAdmin to create this database. Okay. Yeah. At the end, I will show you that part. Very simple. Okay. All right. The first table to create, we need to define our table. Okay. So we use the SQL statement. Yeah. So this time we use create table statement. Yeah. So that drop line, yeah, the drop line, yeah, usually we use that, yeah, because sometimes we want to reinstall these tables, So old one we want to remove. Then we want to just enter this table another time. Yeah. Usually we need to do that if we want to change some table fields. We want to add something, remove something. Yeah. When you do that, you want to drop the old table, then install the new table. So usually when that happens, we like to use this drop statement. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. So then the first line, also important, prod underscore ID. Yeah. For each table, we like to have a primary key. So primary key. Yeah. So what's the primary key? Primary key is used to identify the rows. So that's important. It must be unique. So we use primary key to identify different rows. So that's why it's important, a primary key. And this primary key, we use it in this auto increment, auto underscore increment. So this is a special feature in MySQL. Okay. For other DBMS, you may not have this feature. So it's special for MySQL. Auto increment. So that means these numbers, the first time it starts with the 0. 1. 1 is the first one. 1, not 0. Okay, 1. Yeah. Then second time 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Auto increment. When you create a new row, you do not need to specify the ID. What is the prod underscore ID? You do not need to specify its value. The DBMS will use the auto increment way to generate that ID for you. So it's very convenient. It's very simple, but very useful, very convenient. All right, so we use that. Then varchar variable character 150. Yeah, so this is a string. Yeah, it can contain the number of characters up to 150. Not all, you have to provide a value. Otherwise, you cannot enter a new row if value is not provided for this field. Yeah. Price, float. we want a float data type for the price, the dollar money, not dollar amount, yeah, the format. Yeah. Float number 2 means precision 2 digits after the decimal point. 4, the total digits, including those after the decimal point. So total 4 digits. Yeah. But after decimal point 2. Yeah. So that's the meaning. Float. Okay. All right. So this is the first table. Okay. Yeah. First table. Then after that, we enter some initial data. So this is my initial data. Okay. Product. Yeah. So here I do not specify the field names in parentheses because I want to go through all the fields. If I want to go through all the fields, then I do not need to specify all of them, right? Yeah. Values, you can see the first field 1, then second field product 1, then float number. So you can see the string number we put inside single quotes. For other non-string numbers, numerical values, we do not use single quotes. No. Although, if you use single quotes, it's not wrong. It is still okay. Okay, no problem, no error. Yeah, it is fine. Yeah. So with quotes, without quotes, for numbers, works fine. Yeah. All right. The second table, purchase table, purchase information. So you can see the structure. You can understand. Yeah. All right. So this is we called database schema. Sometimes people call schema. Okay. Yeah. Schema. Yeah. So this part is the definition part. We define table schema. Yeah. That's the data part. So this is the data part. Yeah. Data part does not belong to the schema. Okay? Schema only about the definition part. So then the data part. Okay? Yeah. So we get a whole database. Yeah. All right. At the end, I will show you how to run the script in PHP MyAdmin. Yeah. After I finish the next slide. The next one, I want to show you database connection using PHP. Now, in our PHP programs, we want to connect to the database first. So we get a connection object. After that, we can do queries and then do data processing. So that's all we need. Okay. So the first part, connection part. So let's look at the step. The connection detail, the code, I put it in this PHP file. DB First, we define the parameter values we need to make the connection. Okay, host variable localhost. Okay, yeah. MySQL server running at the localhost, so we can reach there. Yeah. Username, our default username root, default password empty string, nothing. Yeah, empty string. The database name products DB. Okay. All right. Now, when we do connection, so we create a connection object using MySQL I underscore connect function. MySQL I underscore connect function. So then you pass those 4 parameters. Okay, arguments there. Yeah. All right. So when you make connection, make sure your MySQL database server running. Okay. So remember, start Apache, start MySQL database server from the exam control panel. Yeah. So I will show you later. Yeah. You will see it. Yeah. All right. Then after, how do we know the connection is successful or not? Okay. Yeah. Making connection, that step, successful or not? We check it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The connection object, if connection is successful, when we check, it is non-empty, it is true, it is true. Yeah. If an object is non-empty, its value is true. If an object is empty, its value is false. Yeah. Here, non-empty is true, successful, but here we want to detect false case, empty case. So not that object. Yeah. If this is true, then the connection fails. It's false, right? Empty. Yeah. Empty, then die function, this function. So we kill the program, right? Yeah. Before we kill the program, we generate message, error message, connection failed, colon, then some information from the error function. Right? So then the whole program is killed. So you won't see anything after that die line. Okay? Nothing you can see after the die line. Okay? Yeah. But if it not failed, right? If it not failed, it's true. Yeah. Then you get to this connected successfully. So you can write your query code after that line. Okay? All right. So that's the connection step. Yeah. All right. So next, I want to show you running database script. Yeah. That database script, the file .sql file, I also include in my zip file, my example 6b zip file. Okay, yeah, I'll give you there. All right. Yeah. All right. So here, I do not need to run that connect because that is very simple. Yeah. So I do not need to run that one. Yeah, you can see the connect is db connect here. Yeah. Although I can run easily, one click. Yeah, but not necessary. Yeah. Here I just want to show you. Yeah. I want to run that database script. So you can do the same thing to create a database. Yeah. All right. Before you do that, you need to check, make sure, open your XAMPP control panel. See, Apache server is running and the MySQL server also running. By clicking, star button. Yeah. If not running, you can click star button, run these two servers. After that, so you can open your web browser, yeah, localhost PHP myadmin here. All right, yeah. Here I want to show you how to create a database. You click home, yeah, you get to this page, you click databases tab. So to create a database, you enter name. Okay, yeah. Here I want to enter products DB1. Yeah, because the products DB, I already have it. Okay, I use that to write my examples. Now, here to show you, I use a different name. I put a 1 after it. I click create. Yeah, it is created, right? Product 1, products DB1 created. I click this thing. Now you see empty. I select this database, but it's empty. So I click SQL tab, SQL tab, so I can enter command here, right? The commands come from my script file, my database script file. All right, so let me open my database script. Yeah. Here in my Notepad++, I have that script file. Okay, yeah. All right. At the end, yeah, products.sql. So I will upload this, include this file. Yeah. So you can copy paste. Yeah. So this is the code. Yeah. Copy paste. Okay. All right. Then I get to the, sorry, not here. Yeah, because I do here. All right. Copy paste in this window. Yeah. Text area. Okay. Yeah. All right. I click go button. No error. Now you see no error, right? Yeah. So now you select products DB1 again. You can see two tables are created. The first one, browse, you have 3 rows there. All right. The second one, because it's empty, okay? So it's empty. So if you click browse, you have nothing. If you click structure, you can see the structure, the number of fields, all those definitions. Yeah. All right. All right. So that's it. Yeah. So when you have my example code, then you can do it by yourself. All right, so let me stop this video here. And the next one, I will show you some simple query examples before we can work on our project to question 5. And I will use a similar example, another Duke version. Our Duke version number 4, our 4th Duke version. Okay. All right, so we stop here. Yeah.